What's up, guys? So I'm gonna talk about the So I'm gonna talk about the teeny weeny Nintendo weenie. So not long ago, Nintendo announced that they're gonna be bringing out a tiny Nintendo, like an NES. And it shows us a picture of somebody holding the Nintendo in their hand, and it's like that big. And I was like, that is adorable. It's probably going to be the size of the controller. It comes with one controller, but you could connect two controllers. And this controller, the connection, it's not like the same as the old NES. The connection is what connects at the bottom of the Wii Mote. The little mini system is going to be sold for $59.99. Comes out November 11th. They're already taking pre-orders, which I think I'm gonna pre-order because I need this. This is so cool. Like, it's tiny and it's awesome and it's got HDMI port. Like, what? The thing that would have freaking blown my mind that Nintendo should have done, it would have been so much harder, but oh my god, how awesome would it have been if it was this tiny little system and they made the actual cartridges like the size of like Game Boy. Oh my god, I would have exploded. That would have been so cute. Like where you could actually put the cartridge in there. But no, it's kind of like an emulator. The games already come pre-downloaded, and I think it's going to be 30 classic NES games on the little system. And I think you're going to be able to download more games later on. I'm guessing. It's gotta be, right? The extra controller, if you want to get it, is $9.99. Some of the games that it's going to come with are some of my favorite, which are Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3, one of my favorite Mario games ever, Super Mario Brothers 2, The Legend of Zelda, Donkey Kong, like the very first Donkey Kong, like the barrels and ladders and all that. That's awesome. Metroid, Kirby's Adventure, Dr. Mario, Punch-Out featuring Mr. Dream, Balloon Fight, Donkey Kong Jr., Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, Excite Bike, I used to love that game, Ice Climber, Kid Icarus, Mario Brothers, Star Tropics, Bubble Bobble, Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, Double Dragon 2, The Revenge, Final Fantasy, Galaga, Ghosts and Goblins, Gradius, Mega Man 2, Ninja Gaiden, Pac-Man, Super C, and Tecmo Bowl. Again, the HDMI port is a plus because it should look good on your flat screen TVs, because if it was the old connections like the composite cables and the AV and all that, those don't look good on these TVs anymore. So that brings me to my next point, which is I saw this after Nintendo announced the NES, the mini NES. I saw an article about the mini Mega Drive. In North America, we don't know it as the Mega Drive. We know it as the Sega Genesis. But the Mega Drive was released in the UK. It's pretty much the Genesis. It just looks a little bit different, but it's pretty much the same. I was unaware that this mini Mega Drive was already released. This mini Mega Drive is only going to be released in the UK. I'm guessing first, and then it might come over here. Maybe they'll do like a mini Genesis. I don't know. But the thing that was brought to my attention was that this was a re-release. But the thing is that Sega isn't the actual distributor. I mean, they're backing this up, but there's a third party. It's called At Games. So Sega is backing it up, but they're not even, like, they're not the ones that are releasing this, technically. I think Sega should have, I mean, they would have made cash if they went the route that the NES did, where they would make the mini Genesis or the mini Mega Drive, whatever. And the cool thing is that you can actually put the cartridges in this little thing. It looks tiny, but it also comes with games already pre-installed. This one comes with 80 games already stored in the little tiny console thingamajiggy. But it comes with two controllers. It's the same price as the NES, but it's not HDMI. I was like, how stupid is that? It's AV cables, it's the old ones. Your old composite cable. So if you don't have an old TV, it's gonna look like crap. Sega should have done this. Like that would have been epic to have a tiny little Nintendo and a tiny little Sega Genesis. And they've got to do this for all the other consoles, like for the NES, for the Super NES, for all of them. I want them all. I want little mini old consoles. That would be so cool, like a little tiny Atari and stuff. I don't know what they're trying to prove. Like, are they trying to prove that they did this first? Where they're like, sorry Nintendo, we did this first. Look, this is the older version. We did this a long time ago, so y'all are stupid. People want mini versions of everything. Like, give them a tiny whatever and people are gonna go crazy. Right now, this tiny little Mega Drive, if it was released in the US without HDMI port, I probably wouldn't get it. It is the same price as the NES, the mini NES, which is $59.99, which is not bad for 80 games. This one comes with 80 games. But like I said, no HDMI, like come on. Like I said, if you have an old TV, that's a great deal, like get it. As much as I love the Genesis, because the Genesis was the first console I ever owned myself. It wasn't the first console I ever played. The first console that was mine was the Sega Genesis, and I think it was the Genesis 2. Yeah, so I have a soft spot for this console, but I don't know. Until they do something, which I think they will. I think the demand is gonna make them release, maybe even when they release it out here in North America, maybe they're gonna be like, let's just put a HDMI port on it or something. Hopefully, I don't know, but it would be a really good idea if they did that. I was reading that at Games, this distributor for this little mini Mega Drive, it doesn't have like a very great history producing less than stellar retro consoles. Best known for consoles like the Atari Flashback and the generically named classic game console at Games Emulation, is janky to say the least. You gotta apply to the times. You can't just bring things from the past and expect them to be just as awesome. Like, we grew up with these consoles, so it'd be so cool to see these consoles return. It'd be a freaking awesome nostalgia trip. And then have them be mini and portable and apply to today. That'd be awesome. Like, I'd love that. Hopefully they start like to actually see that this is a good market for the old school gamers and also for the newer gamers. Like, you know, they missed out on a lot of these classics, and it's cool to know about it, to try these classics out. Like, if you really are serious about playing games, you know, it doesn't matter how many years you've been playing games. There's something there to learn, to appreciate, and just to see where it all started, you know, and how it's all evolved. Props to Nintendo for thinking of doing this and to actually applying it to the times. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Do you think that this is the start of a old school market coming back to today, or do you think it's going to be a flop? Do you think people really just don't care about this stuff anymore? So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys later.